Stevie was born May 13, 1950, and he is known professionally as Stevie Wonder. He is an American singer, songwriter, musician, and record producer, a prominent figure in popular music during the second half of the 20th century. Wonder is one of the most successful songwriters and musicians, a virtual one-man band. His use of synthesizers and future electronic musical instruments during the 1970s reshaped the conventions of R&B. Wonder was born Stephen Hardaway Judkins in Saginaw, Michigan on May 13, 1950. He is the third of 5 children born to Lula Mae Hardaway and the second of Hardaway's 2 children with Calvin Judkins. He was born 6 weeks premature, which along with the oxygen-rich atmosphere in the hospital incubator resulted in retinopathy of prematurity, a condition in which the growth of the eyes is aborted and causes the retinas to detach, so he became blind. When Wonder was 4, his mother divorced his father and moved with her, then 3 children, to Detroit, Michigan, where Wonder sang as a child in a choir at the Whitestone Baptist Church. She changed her name back to Lula Hardaway and later changed her son's name to Morris, partly because of relatives. Wonder has retained Morris as his legal surname. He began playing instruments at an early age, including piano, harmonica, and drums. He formed a singing partnership with a friend, calling themselves Stevie and John. They played on street corners and occasionally at parties and dances. As a child, Wonder attended Fitzgerald Elementary School. After his first album, The Jazz Soul of Little Stevie, was released in 1962, he enrolled in Michigan School for the Blind. In 1961, when aged 11, Wonder sang his own composition Lonely Boy to Ronnie White of the Miracles. Wright then took Wonder and his mother to an audition at Motown, where CEO Berry Gordy signed Wonder to Motown's Tamla label. Before signing, producer Clarence Paul gave him the name Little Stevie Wonder because of Wonder's age. The label drew up a rolling 5-year contract in which royalties would be held in trust until Wonder was 21. Wonder was put in the care of producer and songwriter Clarence Paul, and for a year they worked together on 2 albums. Tribute to Uncle Ray was recorded first when Wonder was still 11 years old. At the end of 1962, when Wonder was 12 years old, he joined the Motortown Revue, touring the Chitlin circuit of theaters across America that accepted black artists. At the Regal Theater, Chicago, his 20-minute performance was recorded and released in May 1963 as the album recorded live The 12-Year-Old Genius. A single, Fingertips, from the album was also released in May and became a major hit. The song featured a confident and enthusiastic Wonder returning for a spontaneous encore that catches out the replacement bass player who is heard to call out, "What key, what key?" And it was number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 when Wonder was age 13, making him the youngest artist ever to top the chart. The single was simultaneously number 1 on the R&B chart, the first time that had ever occurred. His next few recordings, however, were not successful. His voice was changing as he got older, and some Motown executives were considering canceling his recording contract. During 1964, Wonder appeared in 2 films as himself, Muscle Beach Party and Bikini Beach, but these were not successful either, and Sylvia Moy persuaded label owner Berry Gordy to give Wonder another chance. He managed to score several hits between 1968 and 1970, such as I Was Made to Love Her, For Once in My Life, Signed, Sealed, Delivered, I'm Yours. A number of Wonder's early hits included My Cherie Amour, I Was Made to Love Her, and Uptight, Everything's All Right. In September 1970, at the age of 20, Wonder named Sarita Wright, a songwriter and former Motown secretary. Wright and Wonder worked together on the next album, Where I'm Coming From. Reaching his 21st birthday on May 13, 1971, he allowed his Motown contract to expire. During this period, Wonder independently recorded 2 albums and signed a new contract with Motown Records. The 120-page contract was a precedent at Motown and gave Wonder a much higher royalty rate. Wonder returned to Motown in March 1972 with Music of My Mind. Unlike most previous albums on Motown, which usually consisted of a collection of singles, B-sides, and covers, Music of My Mind was a full-length artistic statement with songs flowing together thematically. Wonder's lyrics dealt with social, political, and mystical themes, as well as standard romantic ones, while musically he began exploring, overdubbing, and recording most of the instrumental parts himself. Released in late 1972, Talking Book featured the #1 hit Superstition, which is one of the most distinctive and famous examples of the sound of the horn or clavinet keyboard. Talking Book also featured You Are the Sunshine of My Life, which also peaked at #1. During the same time as the album's release, Wonder began touring with the Rolling Stones to alleviate the negative effects from pigeonholing as a result of being an R&B artist in America. Inner Visions, released in 1973, featured Higher Ground, which was #4 on the pop charts, as well as the trenchant Living for the City, which was #8, and both songs reached #1 on the R&B charts. The album is ranked #34 on Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Albums of All Time. Wonder had become the most influential and acclaimed black musician of the early 1970s. On August 6, 1973, Wonder was in a serious automobile accident while on tour in North Carolina, when a car in which he was riding hit the back of a truck. This left him in a coma for 4 days and resulted in a partial loss of his sense of smell and temporary loss of sense of taste. On October 4th, 1975, Wonder performed at the historic Wonder Dream concert in Kingston, Jamaica, a benefit for the Jamaican Institute for the Blind. The double album with extra EP songs in the key of life was released in September 1976. Sprawling in style and sometimes lyrically difficult to fathom, the album was hard for some listeners to assimilate, yet is regarded by many as Wonder's crowning achievement and one of the most recognizable and accomplished albums in pop music history. The album became the first by an American artist to debut straight at #1 in the Billboard charts, where it stood for 14 non-consecutive weeks. 2 tracks became #1 pop and R&B hits, I Wish and Sir Duke. The baby celebratory Isn't She Lovely was written about his newborn daughter Aisha, while songs such as Love's in Need of Love Today and Village Ghetto Land reflected a far more pensive mood. Songs in the Key of Life won Album of the Year and 2 other Grammys. The album ranks 4th on Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Albums of All Time. The 1980s saw Wonder achieving his biggest hits and highest level of fame. He had increased album sales, charity participation, high-profile collaborations, political impact, and television appearances. Hotter Than July, 1980, became Wonder's first platinum-selling single album, and his single Happy Birthday was a successful vehicle for his campaign to establish Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday as a national holiday. In 1982, Wonder released a retrospective of his 1970s work with Stevie Wonder's original Musicarium, which included 4 new songs: the 10-minute funk classic Do I Do, which featured Dizzy Gillespie, That Girl, one of the year's biggest singles to chart on the R&B side, Frontline, a narrative about a soldier in the Vietnam War that Wonder wrote and sang in the first person, and Ribbon in the Sky, one of his many classic compositions. He also gained a #1 hit that year in collaboration with Paul McCartney in their song for racial harmony, Ebony and Ivory. The lead single, I Just Called to Say I Love You, was a #1 pop and R&B hit in both the United States and the United Kingdom, where it was placed 13th in the list of best-selling singles in the UK, published in 2002. It went on to win an Academy Award for Best Song in 1985. Wonder accepted the award in the name of Nelson Mandela and was subsequently banned from all South African radio by the government of South Africa. Wonder has been married 3 times. He was married to Motown singer-songwriter and frequent collaborator Sarita Wright from 1970 until their amicable divorce in 1972. From 2001 until 2012, he was married to fashion designer Kai Millard, and in October 2009, Wonder and Millard separated. Wonder filed for divorce for August 12, 2012, and in 2017 he married Tamika Bracey. Wonder has 9 children by 5 different women. The mother of Wonder's first child is Yolanda Simmons, whom Wonder met when she applied for a job as a secretary for his publishing company, and Simmons gave birth to Wonder's daughter, Aisha Morris, February 2, 1975. Wonder's 9th child, his second with Tamika Robin Bracey, was born in December 2014. On May 31st, 2006, Wonder's mother, Lula Mae Hardaway, died in Los Angeles at the age of 76. At a concert in London's Hyde Park on July 6, 2019, Wonder announced that he would be undergoing a kidney transplant in September. The transplant was successful, and now Stevie Wonder is going to be moving to Ghana. Wonder has won 25 Grammy Awards, as well as a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in 1996. He is one of only 2 artists and groups who have won the Grammy for Album of the Year 3 times as the main credited artist, along with Frank Sinatra. Wonder is the only artist to have won the award 3 consecutive album releases. Wonder has sold over 100 million records worldwide, making him one of the best-selling music artists of all time. He was the first Motown artist and second African-American musician to win an Academy Award for Best Original Song for the 1984 film The Woman in Red. Wonder has been inducted into the Rhythm and Blues Music Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Songwriters Hall of Fame, and received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He is also noted for his work as an activist for political causes, including his 1980 campaign to make Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday a federal holiday in the United States. In 2009, he was named a United Nations Messenger of Peace. In 2014, he was honored with the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
You made my soul a burning fire. You're getting to be my one desire. You're getting to be all that matters to me. And let me tell you, girl, I hope and pray each day I live. A little more love I'll have to give. A little more love that's devoted and true. 'Cause all I do is think about you. All I do is think about you. All I do is think about you. Baby, just suppose I should happen to cross your mind. By some chance, a boy like me you've been trying to find. Well, let me tell you, girl, think of how exciting it would be if you should discover you feel like me. If you should discover this dream is for two. Well, I'm gonna tell you, girl, I light a candle every day and pray that you'll always feel this way, and pray that our love will forever be new. 'Cause all I do is think about you. All I do is think about you. All I do is think about you. I'd light a candle every day and pray that you'll always feel this way, and pray that our love will forever be new. I'm gonna tell you, girl, I cannot have you for my own. I'd rather be alone, alone. I'd rather keep thinking the way that I do. 'Cause all I do is think about